were talking about the political leadership of Germany in the EU, and you said that Germany wants to lead in the EU but not dominate other countries. How can we achieve this in concrete steps?
For example, it is crucial and decisive that we integrate not only France in the important decisions but also Poland. The reason why I re-established the so-called Weimar Triangle has a lot to do with the new balance in Europe. After the reunification of Germany, we also had the reunification of Europe. And the Europe in which we are living now is not only West Europe, it is also East Europe. This means that Germany will care about our eastern neighbors, and if you look to the success story of Poland in the last 10-20 years, I think it's obvious that Poland and France, together with Germany, will play a key role.
Okay. In our survey, we asked people to say who has the most influence in Europe and in the EU, and probably unsurprisingly, very few people named Ashton or Van Rompuy, but over 60% named Merkel. So, given this, how can we really, from the outside, be perceived as a unified union?
I think this poll echoes the situation like it is now. But this does not mean that we should leave it like it is. We should work on treaty change. We should try to open the next European chapter in history. This means more integration, for example. This means that the European politics, for example, the European Parliament, will have more influence. And I think the time when people thought national interests and European interests are a contradiction is really over. I think we should face the new time in which we are living, and this means that the next chapter of European integration will be opened by us in the next months.
Okay, one last question. 74% of our respondents said that the EU as a whole together has a responsibility to intervene in one way or another in humanitarian crises. Do you think this is something that the EU should do as a whole, and what kind of interventions would be useful and effective?
The common defense and security policy is a very important point and topic on our agenda, no doubt about this. But when we are discussing interventions, when we are discussing, for example, the responsibility to protect civilians and people, it is always important and decisive to discuss which kind of measures should we take. This means should we choose. This means, for example, diplomatic measures. This means economic sanctions. This means political solutions are very important. The reduction on military issues is, from my point of view, not very wise. With our historical background as Germans, we are very careful and sometimes reluctant if we are discussing military interventions. This does not mean that we do not feel solidarity. This means that we think other tools are also important, and this is the way how we show our solidarity and our support.
All right, thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you so much.